Now look, back in ancient times, men submitted to women in order to gain dominance on the outside world. Even during battles of war, or right when we was initiated to go to war, or right before we was initiated to go to war, the woman would take the sword and announce us on our sides to let us be free to be able to fight for the kingdom and the empire. And
the submission, right? If I know that my woman is hosting the goddess head, I'm submitting. What happens when the queen knights the warrior? He gets on his knees, she takes that sword, and she knights him into his deployment to go defend the kingdom. He's submitting to the majesty of God, the Godhead in her. So he kneels before the queen humbly, and him kneeling before God in her, she's knighting the God that she sees in him.
Even during Kemet and ancient Egyptian times, the priests were considered the highest type of people in the world, even higher than the politicians, because it was the mind, it was the way that they thought, it was the way that the spirituality was. Before the warriors were sent out to battle, he had to consult with the oracles and the witches. He had to consult with the supreme goddesses in the village in order to be protected so he can come back home. Chaos rules, and it always ruled, you hear me? There ain't never been a time in no time in history where chaos didn't rule. This is why we revered the goddess. This is why we revered the woman, so we can bring balance to the chaos through a vision that she wanted to be created, building the utopia for the woman. Only the most disciplined mind can make a woman submit, and that is by her choice willingly, based on what you have taught her of wisdom you've given her and how you've making her feel romantically, emotionally, and spiritually. The only thing that's different between an emotional woman and a passionate man is the divinity. Your passion equates to emotions to this woman. If you don't have passion, you don't have anything to her. You heard me? If you have a passion, if you are passionate, that means to her, you have a soul. Women operate off the soul. They operate off of the heart chakra. You heard me? Men operate off of the mind. So we operate off of the mathematical way of how we view the world. They operate off the soul. In order to be able to get a woman to submit, you must be able to get her soul to submit. And your soul must be in submission as well. Once you submit, she submits, and she allows you to sit on the throne. That's how she give you herself, your salvation. Being able to control yourself from ejaculating unnecessarily. All this heightens you up as a man. All this builds your testosterone. All this builds your ki and your chi. This is how one is able to come back into one true self. And this is what women respect. A disciplined man, a man who know how to control his ki, his chi, and his sperm. That's what our primordial mothers taught us, though. You hear me? The primordial mothers taught us that the woman can't be tamed. You hear me? She's supreme chaos, supreme darkness, the black hole, baby. Ain't no taming a woman. That's why you gotta let them be free. You gotta guide them, spiritual guides. She created us to help her be her spiritual guide. You hear me? Knowledge, information, wisdom, understanding, giving back the powers of which she had once lost before by giving birth by way of menstrual blood. You heard me? It's your duty, baby. You gotta serve. I know y'all don't like to hear that, because you think everybody was meant to be put out here to serve you. No, baby. You was born to serve the woman and the family and the children. You ain't nothing but a servant, brother. You ain't nothing but a warrior, a builder, the architect. Your role is very prevalent in patriarchal society, but in the matriarchal society, it's a big difference. Yeah, you heard me? It's a big difference. You just don't want to be understanding. It ain't meant for you to understand, baby. That's why you ain't figured it out yet. You ain't gonna never tame that woman, boy. The divine principle, Shekinah, the return of Shekinah. Now let's get into this goddess Wadjet and Nekhbet, who was sitting on the Nimbus crown that King Tut wore. So King Tut actually wore the crown of Wadjet and Nekhbet to symbolize the goddesses of protection. Now the snake goddess Wadjet was considered the protector god of the Lower Egypt, or North Egypt. Now after uniting both kingdoms, the queen would wear the crown of the snake and the eagle to symbolize of the United Kingdom being protected by the goddess. Now the snake image of Wadjet and the vulture image of Nekhbet represented the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt. Now Wadjet is the goddess of serpents, of the land of the living, and the protection of the kings. Now her name means green one, and she is the infant son to the god Horus, and she protects him and his mother Isis in the Nile Delta when Set kills Horus, the father of Osiris. Now, while Jet's worship originally started in the pre-dynastic period, but was later whitewashed by the Greeks and the Romans once again, and she was also considered the protector of kings and childbirth that can stop anything from harming the children when they are being born. Pete, you heard me? Now, if you're trying to really keep your little woman, you heard me? Make sure you set up a date on the full moon. And always do it right after she just got done with her cycle. Make sure you're making love under her with the full moon. You see what I'm saying? This gonna revitalize the energy again. You hear me? This gonna resurface the feelings again. This gonna resurface the love again. You hear me? This is how you take back the soul. You hear me? You want your woman to come back to you? These are the things you can do as a man in order to keep your little shit going. You want to have conversations. You want to open your mind up before you do anything sexual or physical. And you want to do this all on the full moon. You want to be revived. Everything going to be amped up. Everything going to be amplified. You feel what I'm saying? The communication is going to be amplified. The topic's going to be amplified. You hear me? Y'all might need to argue. Argue with her on the full moon. Release all that shit away from her. And then you start to put the new messages on her. You start to put the new code inside her. You heard me? You start to give her that new love. You start to give her that new feeling. But you got to work around the new moon. You got to be working around her cycle. You got to be working around right after she get off her cycle. You heard me? When them hormones is raging, when them pheromones is going, that divine is is sparking. You heard me? Divine is sparking everywhere. Y'all niggas wake up just ready to be mad at a woman. Just always same old topics over and over. What's your body count? What's your body count, man? Quit asking that, man. You sound childish, man. That's the way you need to go about having a conversation if you want to know how a woman been moving in life. Just flat up asking your body count is very disrespectful, you heard me? People gotta realize that. Niggas need to get back privacy again. Shut the fuck up. You're opening your mouth too much and saying shit you don't need to be saying, you heard me? That be a lot of y'all problem. That's not how you need to say that. That's not how you need to approach it, you hear me? Come back but being a little bit more modest. Know how to court a woman again. God damn, y'all niggas always so mad about everything. Y'all niggas always so mad about everything. You hear me? Just mad with the woman. How many bodies you got? You think you ain't got no trauma out here, boy? You up here with a bunch of bodies thinking you ain't got no trauma. Boy, that shit is not gender specific, you hear me? People think that they can't create them trauma bonds based off of the sexual counterparts they didn't have. Boy, that come off of what you intentionally build with the person. Y'all niggas be out here with more trauma bonds than the women out here. For real, for real. Y'all done slept with about 46 women. Ain't conquered not one woman, and you think that ain't mess with your head. You ain't conquered not one woman, and you think that ain't mess with your head. Boy, that mess with your head. You up here thinking you the one, and because you done slept with a bunch of women but never conquered a woman. Of course that play with your soul. Of course that didn't play with your spirit. You hear me? You gotta be letting some of this physical shit go. That's what I'm saying. Undisciplined sex, you out here moving the way you move, and then you're gonna try to blame the woman because she got pregnant? No. You're gonna have to deal with that, baby boy. So as a leader, you gotta have high empathy for others. You gotta hear what the world's saying and be able to respond to it. That's what a leader's supposed to do. A lone wolf can do whatever he wants. A lone wolf got the options to be able to say, look, I could pull out if I want. I don't want to be able to compensate you. I don't have to come up and show up for this business deal. I don't got to be the man you want me to be. A leader, the true alpha man, he always got to show up no matter what. It's the seat that everybody wants, but it's the seat that most people can't handle. Because when you're in that seat, you don't really do more for you. Everything is more about others. How other people feel. How other people view you. What affects the bottom line, your brand, your business, your empire. If the people don't like it, but the queen like it, it puts you in a bad position in life. What do you do? What do you do? Wonder why these women don't want to give life to you niggas no more? Look at the type of being she feel like she didn't create it, you heard me? She feel like she didn't destroy the world bringing some of you niggas here. That's the problem. It's time for some of y'all to go. It's time for some of y'all to go. And when you go, you ain't coming back this time. But when you do come back, you're coming back eternally in some other way, form that you ain't gonna like. You might come back a whole grasshopper. Playing with these goddesses and these witches, stupid ass gonna come back a whole spider, ant, something crazy. Yeah, keep thinking it ain't like that. Keep thinking it ain't like that, boy. The problem is you don't understand. Kemet ain't nothing but rituals and magic. Shit hit deep over there, boy. Yeah, that meta nothing. Them hieroglyphics over there, that shit hit way deeper than what you know. They ain't nothing but spell work. We got 90,000 years worth of history missing, boy. Imagine the knowledge that'll come out if a nigga really knew how this shit was really supposed to be going, or how this shit was built. You hear me? Keep on going with your man Jesus. Boy gonna fail you, cause he still ain't pull up yet. We still waiting on him to pull up with the yeah. We've been waiting on that boy for so many years. He ain't never pulling up, you heard me? But that's all right, cause our ancestors been here, been thugging, and they ain't never going nowhere. So you go ahead, depend on your little partner over there. I guarantee your mind gonna be with me forever. What you gonna do? You niggas been getting rejected so long, you found a way to unite on these apps and get all the incel cornball clans to agree with you about hating women. When in reality, just telling the truth, you hurt. It's coming from childhood trauma of you constantly being rejected. You constantly not getting the woman you want. You not being fit mentally, physically, spiritually to be able to get the woman you want. So now you on these apps, uniting with all type of other men, and y'all all hip hey hoorah together, thinking y'all all making sense and y'all all look like clowns. That's how y'all all look. At the end of the day, if you fear a woman's divinity, it's because you fear yourself. And that's the problem. Most of you niggas fear yourself. You don't really know who you truly are. You don't understand yourself. You don't understand where you come from, you hear me? A man that don't understand where he come from is a man lost on his journey that can never lead nobody to whatever he needed to go to in any final destination. You heard me? You a man with no guidance. You a man that's lost. You a man that can't lead nothing. And women sense it. They feel it in your aura. That's the whole purpose. They feel it in your aura. So maybe one day you men will wake up and stop hopping on these apps to destroy women and start destroying yourself. You heard me? Hold yourself accountable for the results that you've not been able to get, baby. Yeah. The lack of a man's divine divinity is the reason why he don't get respect in the world. Falling under the same patriarchal don't go get you nowhere, baby. All that shit do is amp up your ego. When it's time to amp up that soul, when it's time for you to really put in that spiritual work, you become a lost soul. You become a lost victim out here. That's dangerous, you hear me? Shit dangerous when nigga don't know how to lead properly through the spirit realm. Boy, you think this whole thing is a real thing? Soon as this veil get loose, tell me what you gonna do when you find out all this shit ain't even real, you hear me? What you gonna do when you find out the religions you believe in and the gods that you worship in the religions ain't even real, baby? Huh? What you gonna do about that? You've been living life the whole time through the delusion, and you're caught up in the same spell. And then you know when you die, you're coming back with the same spell on you. Crazy. Yeah, that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna come back with the same spell on you. Because you're lost out here. You're lost. Most of you niggas lost and you're ugly. You hear me? Another big problem. Lost, ugly, ain't healthy, and ain't right in the mind. Shit. I'm teaching my daughters to never be around you niggas, baby. Teaching my daughter to never want to date you niggas, baby. You think that you gonna make her a slave and put her in bondage? Oh no. No, that's not how that work. You gonna be her worker. Yeah. Niggas trying to navigate the world without a woman's intuition. But you crazy. You ain't about to get nowhere, boy. You think you about to navigate this whole fake illusion world that's built on magic and sorcery without having a magic and sorcery goddess or witch next to you? Boy, you dumb. That's why you niggas lost, baby. I got the teachers from a goddess and a witch, so that's why I don't be worried about nothing, you hear me? You dig what I'm saying? Because that veil falling down, and we see how you niggas acting. Yeah. When that system fall, now it's time to put in that real work with the real matrix. The first nature. Matriarch, matrix. That's the first matrix, baby. Now you don't even know what to do. Look at you, lost out here. Keep on following them niggas, red pill niggas. Keep on listening to them Myron niggas and them fresh and fit niggas. That's why y'all niggas gonna be suffering alone. You're gonna be suffering alone listening to these streaming, playing a video game all day ass niggas. These niggas ain't got no energy and no high testosterone to be able to lead nobody. When it's time to go to war, then the niggas who you want on the front line with you, you heard me? I hope them ain't the niggas you want on the front line with you. Cause it's gonna come a time when it's time to go to that war, yeah. And you're gonna need them real soldiers, the ones that's fighting for that same purpose, the ones that's submitting to that goddess head, the ones that's running around with them amulets on them, protecting them from that unseen, you heard me? That's what you want next to you.